So I was messing around on this thing yesterday, and I was actually looking for a front end clunk, which I think I found. So I got up underneath here with the adjustable, because that's all I can use to get on. That right there because of the exhaust. I was pulling on it right here, trying to loosen it, and I had my hand right here on the fender, and I just happened to lean my shoulder against it, and then I found some rust with my shoulder. So that wasn't that bad until about yesterday at 2 o'clock. And that made me really mad because I wasn't planning on fixing this one, but I guess I am now. I can deal with rust, but I can't deal with rust holes. And, you know, this wasn't really a rust hole until my shoulder found it. So that's what we're going to be addressing today. And if I sound dead, it's about 8:30 in the morning right now, which is early for a guy like me. But I go back to college in 2 days. So this thing has to make a 2-hour drive in 2 days. And I've got the front end tore apart, kinda. And I'm honestly more worried about this rust hole than anything else, because I can't stand this. I'm going to start out by making a little rough template of what I actually need. I don't think I'm going to go too far on this because I have limited resources on metal. But I've got a old floor pan I can use, and I've also got the side of a washing machine. But that's a heck of a paint run. But I feel like that washing machine is gonna be too thin. But I may try it anyways, to be honest, because that's a lot of good metal. It's got a weird shape to it, but I'm gonna go over 7 inches. That should be getting on the other side of this bubbling. I could go up like 4 plus the inch down there, so that'd be 5. Alright, I got something that fits half decent. Of course I'm gonna use this as a template to cut the metal like bigger than what I need. Then I can just cut it in to what fits good. But let's go find a piece of metal, I guess. Alright, so this is the piece of washing machine I was talking about. And I feel like it's going to be too thin, but we're going to try it anyways. A lot of these are galvanized, but this one isn't. It's just painted, so this should work fine. Glove on, but this air tool releases cold air and it makes my hand cold. I don't like it. I already messed up. I'm taking the line I was going to go on the other side to leave me extra. So that's good. We're starting out the day good. Okay, so I need to clean this up a little bit more, but I'm just trying to get this corner. This is going to be a hard thing to make, but I'm just going to measure the inch of, I don't know, like we're supposed to bend. That way I can go and get that out of the way and start fitting up a little bit better. There's where it's going to bend, so put that there. I did consider taking this fender off, but that's a lot of work. But I really need to put some bend into this before I even try to do that, so I need to do that. Alright, so I just dug this up from behind the shed. My dad bought it at an auction to use as an anvil. And we never used it, but I started thinking how I was going to get this curve for like the body. This has a pretty decent curve to it. I can also just like kind of do that. So I feel like this is going to be perfect for that. It may be too much, but I can always bend it back. There we go. That actually worked really good. So that's probably not going to get stuffed back behind the shed. That's going to stay in here somewhere. It's also not going behind the shed because it weighs like 75 pounds. So it's going to get like scooted underneath there somewhere. I'm trying to situate you where you can see the curve of the body. Yeah, there's too much. Automatically too much. That's good. Oof, it's upside down. That's not too bad. It needs a little bit more bend down this area, so I'm gonna go do that real quick. Ah. Ooh, way too much bend. There's a screw right here that really needs to come out, but it don't look too good. So if anything, we're just going to try to break that off. Well, that's just going to get shaved off. I think with that off there, this is going to fit really good. This needs to be touched up a little bit. But I'm actually going to start cleaning this up, that way I can fit this on there better. Also, it's this deep into the video, so I should have specified this earlier, but I've done this once. I've done that cab corner that way. This is my second time ever doing this, so don't think this is like a tutorial. This is just how I do it. I had a guy comment on that Maytag video that I did. I don't even know when, but that little Maytag hit and miss. He was like super upset, saying that, oh, you just don't know what you're doing and stuff. And I'm like, if you watched any of my videos, you could probably just assume that I don't know what I'm doing. But he was just like so mad because I was like, oh, you didn't do any research. You didn't. You just started taking it apart. It's like, boss man, the best way to learn something is to take it apart. That's why I situated all that with my patch panel before I took that out, because I figured it'd destroy it. But I can remake that piece. That's not a big deal. I'd be happy with that right there. That actually fits really good. Hold on. Let me mark this and I'll get you in here. See, this bottom needs to be... Never mind, I just fixed it. I'm impressed with how good that fits, to be honest. Like, even this little bend down here does pretty good. So I need to go trim this up a little bit, get it fitting better. And then we can start marking stuff on the actual fender, I guess. I'm happy with this. Not exactly sure. See how the regular or the other fender is. It's got like this curved edge on it, and I'm not sure how to replicate that. I do have some ideas, but not too worried about that right now. Does that look good? Sure. So let's just that gap down there looks bigger than what I would want, to be honest. I need to figure that out. Go shave this a little bit, because that'll make all this look a little bit better. So there we go on that. And then this piece right here is actually loose for like all this, so it's kind of getting pushed over too far that way. I'm trying to just follow that line down. It's a little bit bigger than what I like, but I'm also looking at the rest of the vehicle, and it's about right, to be honest. So let's just mark this. So this time, I'm not going to take the line, I'm going to go above it. So, I did good. I didn't take the line, but I went on the wrong side of the line. I was supposed to go down here to, you know, I could always cut more off if I needed it. I went above the line, which means the whole thing's going to be pushed up farther than it needs to be. It's still not going to be bad, to be honest. It's better than what I thought it would be, but I did mess up. So that's kind of unfortunate. But I didn't take the line this time. Let's remember that. I just took the wrong side of the line. I don't think it's going to be too bad. We're just going to run it, to be honest. It's not going to line up here. But you know what? If we really want to, at the end, we can come back and bend this down a little bit and rework that. Also, this truck was $400, so anything I do is probably better than what it was. Now that we've learned, let's put a mark right there. Continuing on. How are you supposed to get in there and cut that? Well, I guess they didn't intend for you to do this, but... Okay, so I think I found maybe not be a decent idea, but it's an idea. To build up this edge to try to flow in with this a little bit better. I cut out just a strip of what the metal I'm using before. And then I think I'm just going to like bend it to this shape, overlay it, and then just weld on this edge and then just round it out. I feel like this is going to look better than just me doing nothing at all. So there we go. So I'm just gonna, well, this is the section where I get to see if I can even weld this. I think I can. We'll see. I'm just gonna start tacking that, and then of course I'm gonna have to get the excess off, but let's start doing that. Some minimum. Probably need a welding helmet. That would be a good idea. It's actually welding better than I thought. Well, it's burning through a little bit, but we can go with that. Actually, that's just a really bad weld, so... This is going to give this panel a bunch of strength, but it's a fender. I don't really think it needs it, but that is also a plus. I'm sure I'm going to have to go back and re-weld some spots where I missed, where there's like holes and stuff, but think it's time to start getting some of this off. I'm trying to round this off. I don't know how it'll go. Oh, that sucks. That's so unfortunate. Let's try to straighten that, I guess. I'll go over there to the piece of railroad iron and try to beat that back out, but I can already tell you that there's going to be some low spots that I need to fill in. So I'm gonna go do that and come back, smooth it, and probably show y'all what it looks like. Because this is literally just this, but for another 30 minutes until I'm happy with it. So I'll save you the trouble of that, I guess. Okay, so here's what I came up with. Just build that edge up a little bit, that way it doesn't look too obvious. It's still not where I'd like it to be, but it is what it is. I need to give the air compressor a break because it's been running non-stop for about 3 hours. And I also just need to figure out what I want to do with this whole area down here where it's not going to match up very good. Am I going to like try to tweak this or something? I don't know. I just need to stare at it for a while. And then I think it's time for us to try to tack this thing on here. I see I missed a spot, so I need to clean. I just need to clean all this better than what it is. That way I don't have to worry about bad grounds, or that way I don't have to worry about, you know, paint being in the way and stuff. So all right, so I've got this kind of tweaked, but I don't like how it's fitting, but you know what, it is what it is. I've kind of got it going downhill. As you can see, that's going to be a heck of a gap to fill with like a little flux core, but we'll figure it out. And you see this gap looks terrible, but also this fender needs to go in about a 1/4 mile because I took this bolt out down here, which holds it in. So that's why that looks terrible. It also looks terrible because it's probably just going to look terrible. This is going to have to get tweaked, but I can't really do that till I like tack weld at least right there. And then when this is all done, I can kind of blend this in and like bend the rest of this to match this, is what I mean, really. So I think it's time to try to tack this thing in. Stay. It did not stay. There's a lot happening in this little corner. The wires are everywhere and stuff. Nice. Nice. The ground's terrible. That's good. Nice. Ow, 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 ow. That was hot. But it's, ooh, that burned back through it. I need to turn that down. Let's do this corner. Let's also back up just a hair. God, that's a good one. Usually I have my hand covering, you know, that hand. That's going, oh, that's already hurting right now. That's awesome. Some soft metal right here I'm blowing through. Alright, so right here is actually doing really good. That's how the quarter panel I did went. All that was perfect. Over here, or up here, I guess it's just really thin. because I'm blowing through that left and right. That's what these little blobs are. It's me chasing good metal. Funny enough, where the biggest gap was, that's doing just fine. And I'm just waiting to let all this cool off. I'm not happy with this because this is cracked, like right there. So I'm gonna have to tack all that back up, then smooth it all out again. But that's no big deal, I guess. Then down here, I'm not looking forward to because this is where I'm gonna have to blend all this in. But yeah, it's going half decent, I guess. That's hot. Oh, I gotta turn my motor on. First one did pretty good, but this one just burned right through it. That wasn't too bad though. Oh, fire. Stop it. Ow. Are you kidding me? Thank you. Goodness. So good news. It's welded. Bad news, it's definitely warped. But you know what? It is what it is. I couldn't stand a rust hole, and I think I can stand warp melt. Also, that's what hammers and Bondo's for. I don't really think it's too bad. You can definitely feel it. Alright, so I beat on it with a hammer pretty decently. I also got a crowbar and stuff, wedged it off of this, and I was able to get a lot of this out. There's still a pretty bad low spot right here that I couldn't really do anything with. It's not too bad overall. This is really just a beater to use in the winter anyways, so that's pretty good. So I'm actually getting pretty hungry, but I want to get a layer of Bondo on this first. That way it can be hard after I get done eating. Okay, so this is completely dry, and so the people who watched the first video of me doing that cab corner, you'll know that I sanded that all by hand, and like the 2 or 3 layers of mono that it took. And then after that I said I would never do it by hand again, so I called my dad, told me this was downstairs, and I got some 100 grit that should make this a whole lot easier to do. Okay, so I think I need to blow this off and throw another layer on there. Then I'm going to run the Car Quest, pick up some shocks for the front of this thing, and then I need to run to Lowe's to get some paint to paint this thing. All right, so you can see everything's covered in dust, and this is about the third coat, and it's actually feeling really good. It's actually looking pretty good too. So I need just like one more little skim coat to fix these areas. Right there, right there, right there. Oh, big one right there. There's a huge low spot right here, so that adds up. Down here, not too worried about, obviously. I'll probably just sand all the excess stuff off, 'cause I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. Alright, so what I'm using now, I actually switched to a, what is this? Switched to a 80 grit. No, that's a 60. I thought it was 80, but I switched to a 60 grit just to speed things up a little bit. So now I'm going to go back to this 100 grit just to get a lot of these harsh sand lines out. And then I'm going to decide how far I want to go up and what I need to hit and stuff. Alright, so I whipped out a mount for this bottom fender, and it's pretty good. It's just made out of another piece of metal that I made the patch panel with. It's just like a little right angle bracket that I feel like this would be more structural if I just put a bolt through it compared to me welding it. And it goes down to where it mounts in the stock location, I mean. And it's just got a little washer. It had two spacers behind it, but it works better with one, I think. I don't know. But if you're looking at this, like, oh, that lines up terrible. The whole fender is like that, and the other side is too. Just this door is sunk, so. But now I can tape all this door up because I don't think I'm gonna tape the door. Also, I need to clean all this mess up, like these dirty handprints, and tape this up so I don't get any paint on my inner fender. And I can throw some primer on here and just see how bad this looks. It looks pretty, it feels and looks pretty good right now, I would bet. But once you throw the primer on there, that'll always show how bad it is. At least with me, so. All right, so I got it taped all the way up here. There's no reason for me to go that high, but I've also got some cardboard in there. And I've got this over from last time. It's just some primer, automotive primer that matches what's underneath this paint now. So I'm gonna go and dust that on there. I just put actually all my tools up from doing this, and stuff dries pretty fast. I'm gonna go ahead and scuff this up and wipe it back down and put some paint on. Uh-oh. This actually looks so much better than I thought it was going to. Well, there is some surface rust over here. The primer's coming right back off, which is good. Also, paper towels is not what you want to use for stuff like this because it leaves foreign material behind. Same thing with building motors. You don't want to use paper towels in that. You want to use like a coffee filter where it doesn't leave any fibers behind. I need to scuff that up right there better because you can feel that. If you can feel it, that means you can see it. But yeah, you don't really want to use a paper towel to wipe all this stuff off because it leaves fibers and stuff behind that can trash up your paint. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm spray painting this car or this fender, so the quality of the stuff I'm using is lower. This is something I can drive in the winter and not care if I get salt on it or anything, but it's also just a really good daily driver. That's good enough. I'm gonna spray this back down. So this is the stuff that I found that matches my Bronco pretty good. Keep in mind, This has been resprayed rather cheaply, so I doubt it's a factory color, but it's literally the cheapest project house paint they have. I don't know why I said house paint, but it's just spray paint at Lowe's, and it matches really good. It's also the cheapest. It's like $2.39 a can. But the only thing you have to do is the nozzle on these are really junk. So I swapped it out to a can. I don't remember the brand, but it's a really good spray paint that does like engine enamel. The stock one, the OEM one, if you will, it just like you can kind of see it almost. It just splatters it on there. It looks like bed liner when you're done with it, and it looks terrible. So that back there actually has a texture before I swapped out the nozzle. But this nozzle it just sprays a lot better. So that's all you have to do to get it to like spray good. I'm out here modding spray paint cans, but let's start spraying this. I don't know why I'm spraying at an angle, but I'm just dusting this on there to get it to stick. Oh yeah, that matches really good. I think it does at least. You can see a paint difference, but like, it's pretty good. I didn't see that. Someone takes an acetone and clean that. That's overspray from the primer. Not crazy on this gap, but you know, it's okay. Let's go see what the other side looks like. I mean, it's not good either, to be honest, but I think it could look worse. Is it obvious? That looks pretty bad, to be honest, but yeah. So it's been a little bit since I did this. I kind of forgot to record an outro, but I'm here now, so that's all that matters. That's after probably 2 weeks. I've got some dirt and stuff splashed up on it. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. You can see a color difference. At least it actually shows up worse on the camera than in real life. But you can see that's lighter. But for spray paint, that's $2 a piece. I'm happy with how it looks. If you enjoy the rust content on this thing, you're in luck, because I've got 2 other spots that are fixing to just fall apart. So like I mentioned in the first rust video, I can stand rust, you know, that's okay. But I can't stand holes. But this one right here, that's fixed. That's maybe got one more winter until it's just a hole. So be on the lookout for this video, I guess. And then I've got this one back here, which is going to be interesting. You can actually buy this patch panel. I may just have to do that. But that's actually pretty solid, but it just looks terrible. So I may fix it anyways before too long. That's a good thing about making YouTube videos and having something that was rusty when you got it. You're always going to have content, because you're always going to have stuff that looks fine now, but in 3 years it's going to be a giant rust hole. And you know, I actually enjoyed doing stuff like this, so I guess it works out too. I'm going to call the video here, and thanks for watching.